This is Brother Carter with Tasteful and Toxic. I also have my lovely wife with me,
Val.
Hey, Val. Be sure and tune in to us every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
Don't sleep on us, baby. Get up, get your coffee. Tune in.
We love you. God bless you. We'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. We're thriving. I don't know how I got back in the host seat, but here I am. I hope that you enjoyed this.
Yeah, you did such a wonderful job last week. We want you to do it again.
And we wanted to do it with you live.
Well, you know, I'm Stephanie. I'm part of the Carter crew. I'm an OG Carter crew. Girl. I've been with the Carter crew since 2020.
Yeah.
Say it.
Since day one.
Since day one. We're day ones around here.
Yeah.
I have the amazing, the fierce, the fiery, the bodacious, the gorgeous.
Wow.
Very demure.
She's in the house. Yes, she is.
She is.
Okay.
And I have her fine husband.
Baby, say that.
The man of God. A man of integrity, a man of honor, a man of valor. Dictionary. He created the true host of Tasteful and Toxic, Brother Carter.
All right. And who else do you have here?
T-Rowe. The amazing, intellectual.
Come on. Give it up.
Baby, hold on. We can't skip past that. You said prophetess.
Oh, tell me, did the Holy Spirit just get that to you?
Drop that in her spirit. Come on now.
Yeah.
Right. I received that.
Well, you
That word almost sounds like a Brother Carter word. That prophet.
No.
No.
So
This is Tasteful and Toxic, so that's a good word there. I
There we
like
go.
that word.
Prophetess. I like it.
okay.
Yeah. Prophetess.
Okay. I think the show title today is going
What
to
we talking about
Hey.
today?
go ahead. Oh.
Wait,
Baby, that's why I love you so much.
Yes.
And it was not intentional.
Right.
That's the night.
Queen Junior. She's the junior queen.
Baby.
Right.
The crew, the executive.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Junior, if you will.
Baby, please say that.
Right.
She gonna get you right.
Right.
She's been trained by
Very considerate,
Very demure.
a little messy,
just a little.
baby bestie.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get my claps. Don't forget about me.
I love you.
And today, the word of the day is
What was the word? What did you say?
demure.
Demure.
Thinking your word. Demure is the word.
Demure.
Very demure.
Very demure.
Very cutesy. Very mindful.
It
Okay.
make me want to do this, but I can't.
Okay. So what is the
So,
show?
Miss Steph, what are we talking about today on TNT?
TNT.
Yeah.
Politics.
Oh,
Politics.
politics. Yes.
Politics.
Are we gonna really go there?
We should really go there.
I think we should. This is a perfect time to talk about politics.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we saying who to vote for? Or something like
Well,
that?
you can have. I can have my. That's your business.
Yeah.
I can have my a conversation about politics without me telling you who I'm voting for. That's my personal business. That's why they put you in that thing, and it's by yourself to vote.
Oh,
But
I can't just go white power.
That's let you know.
I can't do that.
No. Canceled. You can, but
that's the end of your. Can you please?
You're gonna put me to work on this episode, huh?
You're gonna have to work on this. episode.
Okay.
Oh, you got to put that on there.
Yeah.
White power.
Okay, let's go.
I'll keep it because that was funny.
One of them on there. Yeah.
make
So,
it work.
Can
come
we
on.
get this show going?
Come on
This-
now.
you
So
can-
the climate is thick.
It's
The
very.
country is split in two.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
How are you all feeling about this upcoming election?
Whoa. Well, for me, I'm actually more encouraged now. I am concerned that it's not just a bunch of hype, but we're going to show up to the polls the way we need to.
Absolutely.
Because it's very, very serious. It's, the options that we have out there.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, you're either going to go this way or you're going to go this way.
Right.
So we need to be mindful and make sure we get up off our butts and not be so caught up on the hype.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel
To
about
not vote is to vote.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we must get up and vote.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of perplexed about this whole thing. You know, I'm encouraged on one end,
Mm-hmm.
but on the other end, I don't know what's going to happen because I see a narrative being set before us. We have one candidate that's for the people, and we have another candidate that's for himself. And so this for himself individual, he's setting up a narrative that we've seen before, that he gonna do whatever it takes to win the election, even if he had to kill, steal, destroy. I mean, that's the nature of this this beast, this animal, this person. That's his nature, and so we have to be very mindful. When he first came about, we all thought this guy was just a joke, and a lot of people calling him stupid and all this kind of stuff, but he's not. He's
very calculated,
very, very, very calculated individual, and he know he don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning the election, but he have a way of talking to people, and galvanizing them in a way. There's some people out there that really, really, really want him there. And we don't need, because America was built, I mean, you know, we built on something else. Democracy. We wasn't built on no communist type of society. And if we're not careful, we're going to find ourselves in the United States will no longer be the United States, but it will be a kingdom, so to speak. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
Y'all
making perfect
want to
sense.
elaborate on that,
Perfect sense.
T-Ro?
Yeah, well, I am feeling optimistic. And I say this because, you know, we were talking earlier about just like the younger generations and their willingness to get out there and vote. And I think sometimes we don't give like these newer generations enough credit, because even though like traditionally they haven't gotten out there and vote, one thing that you can see through social media is that people don't stand for injustice. They're not standing for, you know, diminishing of rights. Like these younger generations get mad. And when they get mad,
they will cancel
you. They will like, it's so I'm optimistic that just making the right decision, like it's going to put people in the position to get out there and vote. And I'm also like just optimistic. I mean, first of all, the choices is like, thank God it's such a big difference in choice. And you're right. There are a lot of people who still are going to vote for the opposite side. And we know why. But I'm optimistic too, because what happened at the Capitol and I think even people who were in support of this person, like people who care about this country, who serve this country, who that was important to them, that shapeshift a lot in their perspective. And so even though this person has been in office in the past, I think even just that and other things that came out of that are going to sway their votes this time around. And so I'm just trying to maintain that.
Can you imagine this was Black Lives Matter going into the White House?
That's real good. Yeah.
White Lives Matter. Can you imagine what would have happened?
They would.
Can you imagine how many people
would have been unalive?
Yes,
shed.
Had the tables been turned.
Yes.
And so for that to happen, it's mind blowing.
I agree. It's mind boggling for sure.
That's the word I was looking for.
100%.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing is good.
I went mind blowing because I couldn't come up.
Mind boggling.
Okay. You're still in the right neighborhood.
I think that it is imperative, like you all were saying, that we go out and vote because the state of our country is truly in jeopardy. The autonomy that we have always valued, you know, the free world. It is in jeopardy. When you look at Project 2025,
that's it right there.
Yeah.
And I think about,
I need to look at that.
oh my goodness,
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's scary. When you look at Project 2025, just one of the components is that they're trying to completely eradicate, I want to say, is it kindergarten or pre-K? I'm sorry, pre-K. And how pivotal pre-K is in a toddler's life and in their journey of holistic development for their fine motor skills, gross motor skills, visual perceptual motor, their communication skills, social skills. They grow more in the first 5 years of their life and they retain more information than they ever will again. Exactly. And we're saying we're going to completely forego one of the most pivotal and crucial components of their education.
So in my language, they're talking about doing away with
100%. Even the children who can't afford school lunches, we're no longer. If a child can't eat and a child is hungry in class, how are you expecting them to sit and to focus? And so I really feel like we need to wake up. It's not fun and games. It's not fun anymore. I always think about Donald Trump's slogan of "Make America Great Again." America has never been great. Historically, America has been a country that has been riddled with greed. And we need to put God back in the forefront. We need to turn from our wicked ways. We need to seek the Lord. We need to repent.
This is just red meat for certain persons. In life, you know, to make America great again. That was a slogan came up after a black man in office. And so this "Make America Great Again" is diminished
the backlash.
The fact that we had a black man in the White
House. We can't let that happen again.
He talks about, you know, getting our country back. These type of those red meat slogans that he's
throwing out there.
So and that's why I feel so complex about this election, because society can be in jeopardy. I mean, we're getting to a place where this person is feeding so much red meat to those people that they will actually go out and do anything they can or will to do, because they feel like they have a right to do so. And he said, "I will pardon. If you go out and do whatever you do, I will pardon."
Well, that's why, like, when I didn't cut you off.
No.
That's why
that's conversation, baby.
Project 2025 and a lot of the things that are happening is very scary, because it is repealing, but interestingly enough, it's repealing everything that minority groups created. So even when you talk about like removing DEI in school and diversity in education, even though that's unfortunately has already been done, I mean, that was created by minority groups, right? To give them a fair space, a safe space. I mean, I totally took advantage of having those spaces going to a predominantly white institution. You know, you talk about getting away.
That DD, what the initials you get.
Diversity.
I got viewers out there, including myself.
Some people know it as diversity and inclusion, or diversity, education, and inclusion. And those are spaces. I mean, they're in the workspace and super predominant on campus. We've just seen them repeal. And now there are no more safe spaces on campuses where students of color or people of cultural backgrounds can go and get specific programs tied to enhancing their educational experience. And the same with repealing, you know, school lunches. We know that the Black Panthers created that. That was created by a minority group in their community. It was taken as if someone else created, but we know what the foundation of that is, and so much more. So you're right. This is all a big backlash. I mean, even with repealing women's rights. I mean, minority group, women. You know, and at that time, it's when you're saying make it great again. No, you just want to bring it back to where it was. All of this growth that we have is repealing. But the sad part is to see like what happened with women's rights and with diversity and inclusion. Like Project 2025 can very well happen because there are people who are like
they're already putting it in place right now
to start turning those times back. And so it is.
This is the problem. This is the concern that those people, those forward-thinking people, they have a long-term plan. They started a long time ago. And we just sitting back on our loins, not seeing what's going to take place and not recognizing it. So we have to be mindful that there are things in place and to keep us in place.
Absolutely.
And I think it also goes back to, we get so pumped up for the presidential election, but that is not where all of these laws that are going to affect your everyday life happens at. It happens in your local, and these federal, all these judges coming in. And so while we're sitting here saying, I got to get this president in, you better be looking at who they're putting in office in your local area and get behind those senators.
Absolutely.
You better stop playing.
And then come, I think, with a certain level of interest and
involvement,
education. You know, they're not being educated. No, it's true. People not educated about what's going on.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about education.
We're kind of living under a rock, or we're so invested and involved solely in our own lives. And right now that we're not looking at the broader picture.
Right.
And what does the future hold for your children's children?
Right.
So what would you all say to someone who is contemplating whether or not they're going to go to the polls and vote?
Well, I would say to them, as Brother Carter always says, to not vote is still a vote. So you're voting for the very thing that you don't want to happen by not going. And so I would say to them, please vote, exercise your right, because you don't know what's going to happen later. You may not have that right.
Absolutely.
Don't play. That's your free right. It costs you nothing. Yes, it may take a little time, but go vote.
And it also may become intimidating too, because of the tactics that the enemy.
But I think it's just like with him. Right.
Yeah.
I think that just like the other party he's constantly repeating things over. That's how he's replaying stuff over and over, and so that makes it be truthful because he keeps saying it. You hear it all the time.
You know the power of the word,
and so you have to be careful.
That's what he understands. That people don't understand. That he understands.
Okay, but I was getting ready to say you have to be careful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with your social media and all of that stuff. Those are snippets. People can chop up a social media and make it look a certain way when it's going to be so impactful for who you're putting in office or who you are allowing to get in. So I just want people to get motivated and be selfish about your life. Be selfish about what you need for your life and your children. And I don't necessarily know if getting that guy, and it's just my personal belief, getting that guy in office is going to be in your best interest. The only interest he has, he says it every time he opens his mouth, is him.
I wouldn't tell.
No, go ahead.
I'm not. I would never tell people. Right. I would never tell people how or who to vote for.
Right.
The people who are wrestling with the idea that neither candidate may have 100% the best interest of the country in their mind.
Correct.
And you feel a little bit of tension with some of the policies on both sides. Sit with that. Do a pros and cons list. Do what you need to do. Don't just not vote because you feel like these aren't viable options. Choose the best between what we have been given. Don't allow that to be the reason that you solely decide to completely discard your opportunity to vote, because voting is a luxury. And there are many countries where they do not have the autonomy to be able to vote for their leader. It is a blessing that we've been given the right to vote. So go out and choose between what you have. I've heard people say, "Oh, well, I don't like either one."
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
You get what you get, don't have a fit.
Right.
I've heard him say that, won't have to vote no more after this.
Yes.
Right, because that's a
like
part
that.
of it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and when you say like the way I look at it, to help answer that question, like we were given the right to vote, like people lost their lives for us to have that right to vote.
Absolutely.
So even just me knowing what it took just for me to get the right to vote, to be in spaces, to have an opinion, to be able to express that, it's so powerful. And it puts that personal responsibility on me to show up. Now, you're right. Now, if you are apprehensive and you feel like your vote doesn't matter, educate yourself. Social media is not going to do it.
It's not going to do it.
Make sure you're using different forms of education on yourself. And for me, and I know that especially in minority communities, we have this real thing with doing straight ticket voting.
Yes.
And I think like one thing that I picked up very early in like my voting experience was like voting by the person, because just like you said, Ms. Val, you have to look at who that person is connected to. There are a lot of people who have a lot of money and a lot of influences and a lot of connections who will put a person in office that sound good, but that person is just at the forefront of it.
Absolutely.
They're just at the forefront of it. The person, you'll never probably really know who's making the bigger decisions. And unfortunately, like even when what we just happened with Hurricane Burrel, right? It's easy to get mad at Centerpoint and the people who were at the press conferences, but we never talk about like all of the people behind the scenes and why the ball was dropped and where is the lack of care and consideration and who's
invested in
invested in
and not here throwing nothing. I'm glad you brought that up. No, I'm going to say it.
Oh Lord.
Okay, we're sitting up there and we're going to take out the Centerpoint, like you said. But we later found out that the ones that were sitting up there were also invested in the in Centerpoint itself. So I'm just going to say that it is so important that we really check the candidate out, the candidates out, and then I'll do your research,
make an informed decision
instead of just going. I did.
Or my dad voted. My dad voted this way, so I'm just going to vote for what my dad is voting.
Yeah,
for.
Right.
No.
So what would you say to the vast majority of voters out there? There's a vast majority of voters out there that does not even have a clue who the candidates are out there, and that they do the straight ticket type of voting. What would you say to the individual?
Before you go to the polls, we still now have about
when you get there, there's a
right. So
and it can be overwhelming.
So what you want to do before you go to the polls, you want to go and just look and see who's on the ticket in your local areas.
Right.
And then also
Especially
that's
local.
public information.
it's right there.
now.
You got to start right now looking at that. And then the other things is a lot of these here prop ones and prop two. You need to go see what that's all about, because when you're showing up there and you're just going straight and you're saying yes because you're changing your life. You're making my taxes go up. I'm sorry. Seriously, you need to know what you are voting for. So just go do your research.
Take some responsibility over this situation, because the balance of all of our lives and our futures and the next generation, not just Generation Alpha, but the generation following Generation Alpha, it rests in our hands. And we owe it to them to make an informed decision as capable human beings and adults about who we are putting in positions of power.
Right.
Wow. I love that.
And to just be a little toxic.
Okay. Before we go,
real quick,
give a toxic moment too.
Real quick, because this is a pet peeve I have, and maybe just because I have a high interest in politics or just what is happening around us. We make this excuse. You talked about people not having that interest, that level of an investment. Okay, so we can spend 15 hours a day on TikTok, and we can be in everybody's business. As you see, like you came in a day trying to figure out what trend we knew, and that trend just came up in the last couple days. So we know everybody's business. That's what's happening on Love and Hip Hop, all the scandals in churches and all this kind of stuff like that. You can research all that and be in the know of celebrities' lives. Right. Yet when it comes to things that actually affect you, your loved ones, your community, you don't have the time and interest to be invested.
Trifling.
You need to look at the camera.
Okay.
Trifling.
Right. So just to take the time, be real, because this is important. A lot of the stuff that you feel is important is not important. Be real. and do your research, do your civil duty.
Yes.
And educate yourself, then educate those around you,
because it matters.
That we can actually make the appropriate change happen.
I love it. And we can have a conversation. It starts with a conversation. If you don't know, get with someone that does know. And
read a book. I'm so sick of y'all not reading. I'm so sick of people saying I did research and it was a video. That you watched a video on TikTok that wasn't research.
And the person didn't know what they were talking about in the video.
No empirical data behind it.
Okay, then so, what's your toxic moment?
In closing.
Be toxic.
In closing, I want to say something to my white power individuals out there.
Brother Carter.
I don't want to call his name out, but there's a candidate out there that you are trusting and believing in wholeheartedly. And this guy has no interest in you as an individual at all. I know you're white, but that's all right. That don't matter. He don't care about you because he don't care. You're not rich. You're not wealthy. You're not the 1%. And that's all he care about. And so get this in your mind right now today, that you're just like me. You're a working class individual that will be in the slums. You're going to be just like me at the end of the day. If this guy gets into office.
The devil is a lie.
And I'm telling you right now, don't believe the hype.
I like that. Okay.
Don't believe the hype.
Right.
Don't believe the hype.
Well, those were his words. He's entitled to his opinion, and 100%.
This is just my opinion.
There you go.
I'm not telling nobody what to do. I'm just offering
advice.
Advice.
A suggestion. It's not advice. It's just suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you to open your eyes. That's all.
That's all you did.
You know, take the shutters off.
Wake up.
Wake up. Smell the coffee.
All right.
Order cognac. Make me.
Well, thanks for tuning in to another.
I think Abigail just popped up there because she has something she want to say.
I know I didn't say much during this conversation. She had to get work done. She's working.
Yeah.
You know, the candidates would love that. But now is a good time to also say it's one thing to tell people to vote, register to vote. We're at the time.
Yeah.
People, you get all the way up till the voting day and you realize you haven't registered to vote.
Wild.
We are, well, the day this is going to come out, I don't know what day it is, when this comes out, but
always first Tuesday in November.
There you go. You have time. I think you can do it up to a month in advance or something. So
where can they register? Do we know where people can register in Houston if they live in Turner?
You can register.
I know you can do it online.
You can do it online.
When you go renew your driver's license.
I
many easy ways. No excuse. You don't have to leave your house.
Walk around who are deputized who can register you right on.
If you have access to
that.
Like Taylor said, if you have access to TikTok, guess what? You have access to you can register to vote.
100%.
100%.
And give one more thing before we leave here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till Tuesday
to vote.
First Tuesday in November to vote. You don't have to wait and stand in those long lines.
Yes.
You can do that
early
absentee ballot.
Absentee.
My parents.
You got early voting.
Yes.
I love
early voting.
Me
you
too.
can go weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
To vote.
Yes. Before the lines get long. That's right.
Yeah.
Go.
And so I'm encouraging, my people.
Your good people.
I need a scripture to go. My people. If my people
who are called by my name would humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways and seek my face, then will I heal the land.
Yeah. Right. And so if you're listening to that, go out and vote early. Don't wait. Take heed
my
to
people perish for a lack of knowledge.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Y'all giving the viewers something today. That they can hold on to. So get your butt out there, vote, and don't wait till Tuesday, and then you get mad because it's hot out there or it's raining out there.
The line's gonna be long.
Then you turn around and say, "Hey, it's too much going on. I ain't gonna vote right here."
Yeah, because I'm tired.
And then the opposed folks gonna be out there trying to deter you from voting and all this kind of stuff. You ain't got to deal with that. Go early. And get it over with.
And get it done.
All right.
All right.
God bless you.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another fire episode of Tasteful and Toxic. We love you. Bye. Bye.